first of all, thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming to Nashville, putting this all together, making sure that he comes here finally. Being along for the ride. So first of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Second of all, obviously the first question is, one, how do you put up with the energy? It's just like talking to my wife. How do you put up with the energy? How do you put up with the intensity that he has? And then, of course, how do you put up with that beard?
When he always says I hate it, and I don't really think that's fair because I don't hate it. Now it's who you are, but I think at first I had to adjust. But now it's who he is. It's the Yeti.
Make sure she's not hidden in the picture. You're good.
But, so I do not hate the beard. But you're right. Very intense. I'm sure you get that. He's so aggressive. So that was not shocking. I knew that, from the moment our kids could play sports, that he was like, this isn't for fun. Flag football city. Sports are not for fun.
Before we even get there, we got to backtrack to the time when you first met him. You saw this when you first met him. It's not like he just became...
You're right. No, that's fair. I did know. I feel like I knew that about him. I think it surprised me a little bit with the boys, and it shouldn't have, but how intense, even from a young age. But I think if you're going to own your own business and you're going to go out there and sell and take those hard knocks, you better be a little bit of that person, I see that on myself that I wouldn't want to do that every day. I don't really know if I'm cut out for that, but his personality is, because some people would be like, oh, no thanks, I'll go back to corporate. I'd rather sit in the office, and he's not that person. And if you made him sit behind a desk, he couldn't do it. Yeah, he'd be gone.
That's why I could never go to Cleveland. I saw all these people sitting in cubicles, and then I'm like, there's no way I'd go nuts doing that.
He would,
It would have been terrible.
And I see those traits in the boys now. A lot of the boys have a lot of both of us, but some of them have more of him, and I see that with them where, I see it in school, where they don't want to sit there and do that, and if they don't care, and they're not interested in the subject, they're pretty resistant.
Well, speaking of being interested in subjects, the reason why we brought you into this conversation is because we want to talk about WACP.
Correct.
So let's start with what is, and again, I'm asking for everybody else. Of course, I know these questions, but for the audience, what is WACP?
WACP is Women's Association of Concrete Professionals, and it was an association designed to bring women in the industry together because it's hard, it's hard to be on the job site to be in that role, but it was hard for me to be somebody that owned a concrete business with my husband, but was so behind the scenes. So
wait. I'm confused here. You're telling me that it's hard for a woman to work in the concrete industry?
Traditionally male-dominated. I hope it doesn't stay that way.
I've never heard of this before. I had no idea that there was a struggle for women anywhere in the world whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's where the idea came from and why the association came about. So now the goal is, how can we mentor? How can we support you? How can we educate? And we're trying to do those things through all the things that we're bringing about. But that's the goal. It's just to not a safe space necessarily, but where we all feel like we can relate. Oh, you're going through that, so am I. And you're in this area, well, great. We have members there, so let's connect you.
You can't relate to all these men that are beating down on you and talking down to you. And what is the term? They're always mansplaining to you all the time. Because of course you don't get it.
Yeah, I know. It's hard. It's hard. And that's why I wanted to get more involved, is just because I knew that I always felt like I am involved, and we do own a decorative concrete business, but I can't go measure this floor for you. I can't apply this product, but I can order it, and I can make sure I get paid. I can make sure our employees get paid, and, but I just felt very behind the scenes. So even other women to me could be intimidating that are putting down the product and are on the job sites, right? I had to learn we all have the same end goal, and I can learn a lot from them. They can learn a lot from me too. They're not big into HR.
Well, I have a perfect example for you for an intimidating woman that is great to know and easy to know, but at first glance can be quite intimidating, and that's Leanne Harris.
Yeah.
The shortest person in the room that has the biggest voice and can really get in your face and make sure that you listen to her. She's a very aggressive woman in a positive. I say that I love you, Leanne.
Yeah, we love
positive.
Her. Yeah.
But you're right. That's another point too, and something to learn. You have two people in your board They're intense people. Her and Rebecca both. Like, you want to talk about two people that will put you into place in a heartbeat, no matter what their size.
Right.
You know, that know more about concrete than we can ever imagine.
Absolutely.
Between the two of them.
Yeah.
You know, probably two of them. I could almost argue that between the two of them, you could probably say that has got to be some of the most knowledgeable information in the entire industry. If you put the two of them into one person, or just having them both in the room all the time and talk to them, you're going to get everything out of this industry you could ever imagine almost. It's a pretty important point.
Absolutely. Yeah. And there's I think I learned that the first time I went to the WACP retreat at Leanne Harris's home.
Such a boring place to go to.
Oh my gosh, it's the best location. I know, it's the best.
I suffer every time going there.
I know. Yeah, it's really such a beautiful spot, and but it's intimate. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you really get to network. You really get to learn a lot and meet a lot of people. And, but yes, Rebecca and Leanne are fantastic, and Christy is as well. And they were so welcoming to me my first year when I was really feeling like, okay, I need to get more involved, but it's super intimidating. So I went to the retreat, and they were so great that I was like, I'm going to do this. Like, I'm going to get more involved. Started trying to help with membership, and then helped at World of Concrete this January, and then came on as marketing after that. So, and they're a big reason why. Like, those three already being on the board, when they said, will you come on as marketing? Absolutely. Like, once I met them, I got to know them. Like,
Right.
Like you said, wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
They're so welcoming. Yes. Like, sure, it can be intimidating from afar, but once you get to know them, it's not.
That's what everybody says about me, too.
Yeah, exactly. And Brian.
But more importantly, they allow the ladies to use their talents in the right way to help this whole thing grow. You know, we're happy to sponsor it. And every year I'm like, I hope to be a bigger sponsor next year. Hope to be a bigger sponsor next year. Because, I mean, ultimately, a lot of people have daughters that, you know, if you're artistic and your daughter, it's just a different medium. You can use metals, you can use wood. Now we're using concrete for just about, and you can make just anything you want out of this stuff.
100%. And also, too, and so, and I told them this before we started, because we talked about how we're going to have to, but I went to the very first retreat. You guys are doing this retreat every year, usually in the spring, right?
Spring.
In the spring.
Mm-hmm.
And it's at Bob and Leanne's house. So again, if you want to talk to the most recognizable, the biggest legends, you know, both of them are Hall of Famers. There's only two couples, married couples, that are both Hall of Famers right now in our industry. The two of them, and then Byron and Chris Klemanski also are both, you know.
Yeah.
And so to be able to, first of all, everybody wants to meet Bob, the great Bob Harris, the legend. You know, he hates when I say that. Whether you like it or not, you are. I love you, man, to death. I love both of these people. People have no idea how close I am to Bob and Leanne, how many concerts I've gone to with them, how many conversations I've had with them. You know, I've got great stories that I can't wait to get them on the show to talk about the first time we met. That's hilarious and stuff like that, right?
Great.
But so they create this retreat, and the first time they create it, like, I'm talking to Leanne constantly in the background about it all, and I'm like, how can I get involved? And she's like, you can't. What?
No.
She's like, you can donate money, but you can't be involved. And I'm like, no, that's not how this works. I want to support you. I want to be there to show you that I'm supporting you. I don't want to just, and I'm not saying this negatively, I don't want to just give you money and then go, okay, let's see what you do with it. I want to be a part of what you're doing and show you guys that I am just as serious about how important this is as you are. I care just as much as you do also. You are correct. You need your own organization. You need your own voice. This is not a joke. This is 100% important. I could not show you more on how I am devoted to that without going to the retreat. That makes no sense to me, right? So I said, I'm coming whether you like it or not. I don't care. I'm coming. Because there's no other way for me to show you how much I care if you don't see it and hear it and believe it. Right. I have to be there to show you that. So I did. Okay. There was only like 2 or 3 guys there. Bob was one of them. You know, it was very quaint. It was very small. It was the very first one. And plenty of women there. It was fantastic. And all of the board members gave their own speeches about their history, their background, how they got into concrete, and the battles that they had to get there, whether it was working for another industry and the issues they had as a woman in that field. It's not just concrete; it's every industry across the board that women have always struggled in, and we feel like it's getting better, but I don't know if it really is. And if we don't have organizations like this, we don't know if it's going to get any better, because we need you to have a voice to be able to find out that that's true. Right. It would be great if you guys got together all the time and said, well, everything was great this year. I can't believe how much everybody pays attention to us and believes in what we're saying and listens to us. That's not happening. Right. Let's be real. That's not happening, whether it should or should not.
Tim.
Right?
Yeah.
So I go to this retreat and I listen to their stories, and I'm just, okay, I get why I'm not supposed to be here. And I'm even more honored that I got to experience it, because I could not believe the reality. You know, a man doesn't want to believe that. And I hate to be like man, woman, and talking about all that stuff, but I get why it was hard in the beginning to allow us to be involved with it and show our support, because women have been beat down for centuries. And here we are, and you guys have your own voice, and we're going to sit here and try to tell you what to do. No. And that was not going to happen. And I couldn't believe the stories. Like for example, like Rachel Bruce was telling about when she would go to World of Concrete, and all these guys were hitting on her all the time. And I mean, literally handling her, touching her, assuming that she was just going to put out for them, because why else would a girl be in concrete? And if you want to get attention and you want us to buy your product, you're going to have to put out. I'm not kidding. That is not an exaggeration. I witnessed it personally. When I first met Rachel, I literally was there watching the show, watching her do a demonstration, and I was watching the guys and the way that they reacted to it, and I saw the way that they talked to her. And I walked up to her afterward, and I pulled her to the side, and I said, if you're ever near me, that will not happen. I promise you, it will never happen. So anytime that you go to any event and you see me in the corner or me talking to other people and you need a safe place, you come to me immediately. I don't care if they think we're together. I don't care if you grab my hand, if you put your arm around me, anything you need to do to get them to stay the hell away from you, I am always going to be there for you, and I always have been. And I did it multiple times for her, and I saw it right then and there, and I interrupted that, and I got her the hell out of that situation. And I've done it many a times for her. I have. And I cannot believe that we have to. Right. I cannot believe that we had to have that situation, and I had to hear that story and go, and I literally put my hand up and said, everything she just said, I personally witnessed.
Yeah.
100% witnessed. Right. And for everybody in this room right here that is listening to me, as you get to know me, I am always going to be your safe place. I have no reason to talk to you that way. I have no reason to talk down to you. I accomplished nothing from it. I am happily married. I need nothing from you. I will always be there for you. You should not be treated that way. And I was just in shock to hear her tell the story that I truly witnessed personally.
Yeah.
Right.
And we've been friends ever since that one moment anyway because of it. Yeah. And she's always known to be able to trust me with anything that's going on in her life because of it. I've always been there for her.
Right. Well, I'm glad. Thank you for doing that. But yeah, what a shame. You know.
It sucks. It's amazing. But again, that's why we need this organization.
Exactly.
We do. There's no question about it. And so now, instead of us not being involved, you now have found a way to invite the men into it, which you call, what's it, Hats Off?
Hats Off, Gentlemen's Club.
The Gentlemen's Club. So we have our own club inside the women's organization, which I think is pretty cool.
It's awesome.
You know, that's an interesting way to make it where it's like, well, to be honest with you, we need to have our own conversations, but we're not going to say you can't come. You can have your own Gentlemen's Club. You know, and that's kind of a cool thing. And again, it shows how many men are willing to support you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you see that at the retreat we just had in the spring. Like, our speakers were such immense, men and women. And we did a cool panel for the first time on the last day of the retreat, where it was kind of a rapid fire, and like just put these experts in front of you, and they didn't know what you were going to ask, you know, which was really cool. But you see such a mix, and it's it's husbands and wives coming together, but it's also, you know, men and women who work together coming together to the retreat. So it's really such a mix as far as who is attending, who's speaking, and the topics, you know, of what we're trying to do.
Well, and I also think that it is extremely important, you know, again, instead of not allowing the guys to be part of it, is to force them to be there to listen to these stories, because a lot of men will not believe that you have that problem, that you've been in that. We're like, what are you talking about? You know, and until you hear that story over and over from repetitiously from different women, you don't believe that there is some issue. And that's an important point. And now, granted, I'm saying this, maybe there's less issues now. You know, maybe these things are changing over time. You know, there's a lot of things that are changing in the world when it comes to women's rights and everything else like that. But at the same time, we need more of it, not less of it. Because if you back down and you stop doing this, then what's that going to do? That means guys can go back to, well, they didn't need it, so we can go back to belittling them or whatever. It's ridiculous to think that way. Mm-hmm. And I think that it's important that it keeps going. And on top of that too, so what everybody needs to know is, first and foremost, you have a retreat every spring at Babylonians.
Yes.
And it's a very intimate setting. You know, hopefully someday it'll get bigger, but at the same time, maybe that's not a good thing, because the intimate setting is so nice. It's a beautiful setting. Amazing networking opportunity. Absolutely. So many things that you can talk to people about in a very tight setting. It's like, you know, I say the same thing with ASCC all the time. I'm always sitting here and saying, you know, you go to World of Concrete and there's 70,000 people, and networking is insane. You go to, you know, now it's the Decocrete show. It used to be the Concrete Decor show. Then you have maybe 1,000 to 2,000 people there, at least organized into our industry, the decorative side of it. So there's a little bit more intimate conversation. But then you go to ASCC and there's 300 people. You go to the retreat and there's 100 people. Those things give you way more networking, way more, connection to everybody, to where you can really feel like, now after I leave here, I can reach out to these people. I have a personal connection to these people now that I wouldn't have had just meeting them at World of Concrete. That's amazing. Right?
The retreat is good too, because, you know, we run a business together and we're 11 years in, and every day is different and things are different, and how the business is running every year to year is different. But I think other couples coming there and seeing like, hey, they've been in it 11 years and it's kind of, they're dealing with the same things, family and business. How do you keep all that running?
Well, wait, hold on. But you went to school for business, so you don't tell her what to do every day?
What you'll find from our relationship is we're complete opposites. So it's awesome, because all the stuff I hate to do, she's awesome at, so I don't have to mess
with. Well, not only that, but I also know that she's a very strong woman. She's not going to put up with any of your crap.
Correct.
I mean, I've known you guys long enough for the same point, and got to know both of you. There's no demeaning. There's this. It's not a one-sided conversation. Correct. You are a team.
Yeah.
You know,
well, I encourage her to get into it, because she is like, I'm like, you are half owner, and she was kind of like, she didn't want to embrace it. And I think this, you know, having this association allowed her to be like proud to be an owner of a decorative concrete, not like, I don't want to say I own a concrete business, that type of stuff. And with her HR background, like, there's a lot of things she could teach a lot of people in their own businesses as you grow, have more employees, onboarding, all this type.
Well, actually, another point to that too that Leanne brought up to me in the very beginning too was, if your company, you know, so let's talk about larger companies, manufacturing companies, however you want to look at it. If your company has, let's just say, for example, 50 employees, again, it doesn't mean that I'm the one that has to go to it. That means that no matter what company you own, there's at least one woman that has an important role in that company. So send that person. Let that person be the person that benefits from it, let alone all women in your company. But you can send a woman that should be in that position, that needs to learn that more information, that can find ways to better her business or better her lifestyle or better her income, however you want to look at it. That's not going to happen if you don't support those people.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Easiest way to say it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I lead on a lot of women like Roberta Slope that works with James Hicks down in Orlando, down in Kit Coral. She's awesome. Like, I can text her. She supports my business all the time. She saves me more times than not on, hey, Brian, I'm going to freight it this way so you can have it here. And that they're important. And I feel like this year, Michelle Seidel and her husband came down and they joined it for the first time because James and his wife couldn't travel. But like Roberta and like Mariana Castillo that I deal with over at Sundeck, like, they could all benefit from the knowledge that's here and just feeling like they're a part of something bigger too.
Feeling like they have a voice.
Correct.
And learning how to take that voice back home and use it, because they should.
Like every one of the speakers they've had has been good, and all of them came, like we did one with AI that I don't know anything about it. After that, like, and then we have 4 hours in the car afterwards to just kind of debrief and go over what we learned and what we need to change. And it's everything you do there is going to benefit your business and benefit how you address this industry. Yeah.
Yes, and so the other thing too is that you also have a booth at World of Concrete every year.
Correct.
And the first couple of years, you're kind of off in the distance and, trying to get people to notice you. And like you said, and you were talking before this, many people were like, oh, I didn't know you had a booth at World.
Didn't know. Yeah, I didn't know WACP existed.
Right.
Yeah.
And now you're, the last year or two, you've been outside with, around the decorative concrete live that's going on. And I'm sure that's helped a lot because you're getting, I guess the only thing that my question to you is, how much? I guess I can answer this myself anyway, even in the middle of asking it. But your organization is not about just decorative concrete. It's about concrete across the board, whatever aspect of it, whether you were pouring the concrete, staining the concrete, or working in the office, or like you said, you're working on the business side of the company while he's out there making the company work. So there's every aspect of this organization. It's every part of the concrete industry. Hell, for that matter, it could have to do with any industry. We just happen to be in concrete,
right?
And maybe someday that kind of bleeds into other industries because of the fact that you're in a business perspective of what you're doing, and you're a marketing side. I forget to say, you're the marketing director of the organization,
right?
And so with that said, you're also the marketing director for your company too. That's why you're in that position. That's why you're there. That's why you have that influence.
Right.
There's other industries that have marketing people that need to know about this, honestly.
Yeah.
Honestly. I mean, I know this is about concrete, but I hope that other industries also have organizations like this. And if they don't, that is something that needs to start being addressed also.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. That's a really good point. And I think that WACP has done a good job from what you're saying. Like, in the beginning, when you were like, I want to come because I want to support you, and there was resistance. I think when you come now, like what we just saw at the retreat, it's completely grown so much and that's what the board spends a lot of time doing. Like, we asked for feedback from that retreat, and we tried to figure out, like, how do we have it's open to men and women, but we still want the women to feel valued and to have a voice, and how do we grow that and foster that. We've tried to do that through the webinars, the retreats, the World of Concrete, because we have an educational seminar at World of Concrete.
That's right. I forgot. I think I did the very first webinar.
Yeah, you did that webinar.
Yeah, I think I was the very first one, to the same point of showing my support.
Yeah, just have that wide variety of, like, we're open to anyone, any industry, but the main goal was, how do we support the women through the education, the networking, the mentoring.
Well, and I think that the interesting point to why I was so intrigued by it in the beginning too was, so we as men come to this retreat, and we technically are a witness to the women. We are not when you go to World of Concrete, we're the people that are walking up talking to everybody. All of a sudden, we're the ones that are the step back. It is your turn to shine. You are the ones that are in the limelight. You are the ones doing everything, and we are just supporting. And that's a hard thing to wrap your head around at first, to go, that's great. That's not a negative. That's not in any way, shape, or form the guy giving in or anything stupid like that. It is even more supportive to go, I am able to step back and let you shine. Because how many people get that opportunity? How many people do that, whether we should or shouldn't? How many times does that not happen across the board?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
I think as a man at that is just, that's me growing as a leader. Like, how do I help
Very good
my
point.
team? How do I make my team where I give instructions or I push them in a direction, and then you sit back
and trust
let it, and you naturally let it happen. You're not trying to force it, micromanage it, that type of thing. So
yeah, there's a lot to be learned from that side too.
And plus, it's just great networking with a lot of good people that are just trying to earn a dollar and provide for their family, just like we are.
So what is the website? Let's just start with, how do you find out more about WACP?
It's wacponline.org.
Okay, I will post that in everything too.
That would be great, because that has all the membership options, sponsorship options, You can
It's-
read about the board. You can
It's
read about
very
what we do.
easy to go on there and sign up to be
Absolutely.
parts of the gentleman's club.
Gentlemen's Club is on there. Yeah.
One of it was easy. I mean, and the funny thing is, Leanne's always like, "Your membership's up," and I'm like, "Okay, how do I do that?" She's like, "Just go to the website."
Yeah, website.
I mean, seriously, like I was
It
like,
is easy.
"Really?" And it was. I felt like an idiot because I had to have her guide me through it like it was complicated. It is not complicated at all. It is a very simple website in a good way.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
everything
cool.
is clear.
Yeah, that and there's good merchandise on there too. So just check that out when you're on there, and then find us on socials, on Instagram and Facebook as well. So
So on Instagram and Facebook, is it WACP?
it is on Instagram, but it's Women's Association. It's all spelled out.
It's all spelled
But
out
on Facebook.
on Facebook.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes. So we appreciate you having us on and supporting us, especially from the beginning.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was excited about it from the very moment I heard about it, you know,
Yeah.
and they were first starting to reach out to people and try to get, you know, the financial side of it help and stuff like that. Like right away, I was like, how can I help? Not just financially. Like, I want to know, how can I support you and show you? Because again, it's one thing to just throw money at you. That's fine. That's the easy way out. And just go, okay, just here's some money, leave me alone. No, I wanted you to know 100% that I'm here to support you. There is a completely different point of view of those two things. Those are not the same. You know, and of course they'll take the money. Don't take that the wrong way. Send the money, donate the money. You don't have to be involved. You don't even have to care. Just send the money. We don't care. I just happen to be one of those people that does care and wants to show how much I care.
Right. Yeah. And we appreciate that. So we're doing good things. We're headed the right direction. We just try to continue to grow and yeah. What should be the next webinar topics? Who should be the next speakers? You know, what should we focus on overall Congress? You know, so there's a lot of behind the scenes and the board's fantastic. So
Yeah, they are.
yeah, it is really good group. So